Previously on Revenge, I asked for an assault, not a rampage.
Bitch had her own son beat up just to get him back home.
This is your EHM bracelet. It stays red longer than 30 seconds. It'll notify us that you violated house arrest.
Grayson's claimed to have 2 eyewitnesses who can place you on the beach after Tyler Barrow was murdered.
I don't care who you're protecting or what, but as of now, I'm gonna start protecting you.
Whatever or whomever you're doing, you better damn well be discreet. We found out Amanda's in Montreal. I'm going after her.
Charlotte Grayson was under the influence of prescription pain pills and champagne the night of the murder. You sold me out! Declan's recanted his statement about seeing the hooded man on the beach. Clarence Darrow, one of history's greatest lawyers, once noted, there is no such thing as justice, in or out of court. Perhaps because justice is a flawed concept that ultimately comes down to the decision of 12 people. People with their own experiences, prejudices, feelings about what defines right and wrong. The murder Which is why, when the system fails us, we must go out and seek our own justice.
How is Daniel holding up?
He's waiting patiently for the defense's turn to present its case.
What about the prosecution's surprise decision to call Charlotte Grayson's boyfriend as their final witness?
Ex-boyfriend. Declan Porter is a highly emotional young man.
Are you saying he's an unreliable witness?
I'm saying that he's a teenager nursing his first broken heart. You can draw your own conclusions.
Can you tell us anything more about Daniel's state of mind at the present moment?
I'm sorry, but we have no further comment at this time. Thank you so much.
Her name's Amanda Clark with an E. According to her credit card statement, she paid for a couple nights here last week. Here. Ring any bells?
Oh, her. Yeah, I totally partied with her last weekend. I haven't done shots like that since high school.
Any idea where she was headed?
New York, I think? But not city. It was somewhere upstate, like Buffalo. Oh, but not Buffalo. It was some other animal name. Deirdre.
I had a personal acquaintance with Declan, and I know he's had a hard time coping with his father's death since the summer. And now, with his estrangement from Charlotte, Declan Porter is a highly emotional young man.
Hello, stowaway. Nolan, hey, it's me.
Jack, how's Omaha?
Somewhere in Middle America?
That credit card statement you hacked into.
Led me to some crappy motel outside Boston. For a girl with access to $5 million, it doesn't make sense.
When has anything Amanda's ever done made sense? But
I guess the good news is you're hot on her trail.
speaking of news,
The prosecution's planning on putting Declan on the stand?
Yeah, a guy came by with a subpoena yesterday. But don't worry, I got Declan's back.
You should have called me. Don't let him talk to anyone until I get home.
got it.
Wait. You're coming home? What about Amanda?
I got my brother to worry about now.
We already know what Declan Porter is going to say, that there was no one else on the beach that night.
Which is a lie.
Unfortunately, you were under the influence of prescription pills at the time, which means we can't put you on the stand to refute his testimony.
However, I do have an expert who will testify that the blood spatter on Daniel's jacket shows no evidence he dragged Tyler's body over 30 yards up the beach.
Which means someone else must have.
We just need to get the jury to see it that way. But before we create reasonable doubt, we have to paint Daniel as sympathetic, which is why I've decided to open my argument by putting Emily on the stand.
Emily.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Mr. Brooks, this is an enormous responsibility. Emily isn't even family yet.
She's Daniel's fiancée, supporting him by choice, not obligation. It's your job to appear caring, accessible, to articulate for the jury all the reasons you fell in love with Daniel, so they will too.
Well, explaining all the reasons why I love Daniel shouldn't be difficult.
Good, because forensic evidence is not on our side. We're going to have to build an emotional connection between the jury and Daniel.
You're talking as if they've already made up their mind against him.
Some of them may have. Juror number 3, Anne Woodbury, for instance. In voir dire, she presented as open, impartial, but based on her physical reactions to the prosecution's evidence, it's likely she'll vote to convict. If I can't at least plant reasonable doubt in her mind, we might as well have taken the murder 2 deal.
Well, perhaps we should reconsider the DA's offer.
Unfortunately, it's no longer on the table. The case they laid out is a home run, and they know it. The decision is in the hands of the jury.
Tragic twist in the David Clark trial today. The wife of juror number 7 was the victim of a deadly carjacking
Evening,
in Queens
Countess.
last night. Judge Barnes immediately excused the juror, who will be replaced with an alternate. The remaining members of the jury continued to be sequestered in an undisclosed location with minimal outside
Sorry
contact.
to interrupt your regularly scheduled plotting. Jack's en route to Montauk as we speak.
I guess we couldn't expect him to stay away forever. At least we managed to keep him out of the Graysons' reach for as long as possible.
What now? Jack shows his face. The Graysons are going to try and pin the murder on him.
No, that's not gonna happen.
I got your money. What are the details?
The jury sequestered Seacliff Inn in Montreal.
You bugged the
You'll
Queen's
have to pose
castle.
as a hotel employee to get to her. The one you want is juror number 3, Anne Woodbury. Are we clear on what you need to do?
Crystal. And as far as how?
Miss Woodbury is a single mother of a young son herself. If she felt her child were in mortal danger, hanging a jury would be a small price to pay to ensure his safety.
Got it.
Who's she talking to? Manny Frank. The muscle who flattened Jack.
Yeah, he also said that Daniel's beating at Rikers. And whatever Victoria has planned for juror number 3. His name's Lee Moran. He's been acting as Victoria's pawn for months. He's about to become mine. Did you bring the whale cam?
You do realize that if you expose the Graysons for jury tampering, you risk your fiancé spending the rest of his life in prison.
I came here for one reason. Nothing's gonna get in my way.
Hey. I'm not used to seeing you in that uniform.
I'm not used to seeing you.
I'm sorry. I know it's gone longer than I planned.
Nolan filled in. Upside is he knows more about pre-calculus than you do. The downside is he's Nolan. Well, I'm glad you're back. Is that your hoodie? You said you were gonna get rid of that, Jack.
I still need it. Look, if the defense decides to go after Amanda, I'm gonna need to prove that I was there so they believe me when I say she didn't do it.
How do you know she didn't? What if they think you did it?
I had no reason to. No motive, no weapon.
You know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna tell the jury the same thing I've been saying all along. I didn't see you or anybody else.
I'm not gonna let you lie in court. All the hard work you've been putting into Collins prep won't mean a thing with a perjury conviction following you
You're
around.
gonna lecture me about right and wrong. If you had just handed that hoodie over and told the cops the truth in the first place, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
No, I can't do that.
Because you protected Amanda. Someone you knew when you were 12. What about looking out for your family?
That's what I'm trying to do right now.
Timing's way off.
Did you hear from any of the galleries?
As a matter of fact, yeah. Yeah, all the dealers I spoke to, even some I didn't, said they'll be stopping by for the preview on the weekends.
Oh, well, then the word's officially out. You're ready to step out of the shadows.
Yeah. The question is, are you? What do you think?
Stunning. 3 months ago, you were unable to finish a painting, and here you are now with an entire collection of your best work.
Yeah. All inspired by you. Again. Thought I'd save yours till last. Got the distinct impression you rather like being left undone.
I do. There's hope in it. And her path is still unchosen.
Maybe it's time to choose it. Maybe it's time for you to step out of the shadows. Do things differently, yeah?
Yes. When Daniel's acquitted. The shadows around me are darker than you know.
How do you mean?
Long ago, when I told you that I couldn't love anybody, I lied. I was protecting myself.
From what?
From loss and hurt. And then I met you, and I was drawn to your volatility and your fire. And I had to leave because I felt that if you burned me, I would turn to ash. So I entered a marriage of convenience. But I always felt the lack of you. And I walked around in emptiness until I met him.
Who?
David Clark.
Jack.
Sorry to just show up out of the blue.
No, get inside before you turn blue. It's freezing out here. So what happened? Thought you were on the road.
I went up and down the entire eastern seaboard looking for Amanda. I was always just a day behind. You haven't heard from her, have you?
Not a word. Does that worry you?
The whole thing does. Every clue I've uncovered about her just leads to more questions. I don't know if she's screwing with me or if she's in serious trouble.
Well, if your gut's telling you that she's in trouble, maybe you should listen to it.
I can't help her if I can't find her.
Sounds like you should keep looking.
I'm sorry. Here you are, your fiancé in the middle of a murder trial, my brother about to testify against him, and I'm unloading all my problems on you. How are you holding up?
I'm managing.
Come here.
What are you doing out there? You're going to catch your death.
That seems inevitable.
Daniel, don't be morbid.
How about realistic? No jury in their right mind is gonna be sympathetic to me.
You don't know that yet.
Look at my track record. Last summer I got wasted, crashed my car, and nearly paralyzed my girlfriend. This summer I shot my best friend.
In self-defense.
In cold blood. Would have fired all 3 bullets if I had the chance.
That's a thought the jury is never going to hear. I hate to admit it, but I think that Brooks has made the smart move by putting Emily on the stand first.
Really? I'm not so sure about that. Jack Porter's back. Yeah, he's in her house right now making a fire, and God knows what else.
This is Victoria Grayson.
Hello, Victoria.
I think we have the break we need for Daniel's defense. Jack Porter is back in town, and if handled properly, he'll lead us directly to Amanda Clark. I suggest that you subpoena him as a hostile witness before he disappears again.
I'll get right on it.
Thanks. Charlotte?
What?
I know tomorrow's going to be a struggle for you, hearing that boy tell his side of the story without you being able to tell yours.
It wouldn't matter if Brooks would just let me testify.
Well, Brooks is being cautious. He doesn't want your drug use to hurt Daniel's case more than it already has.
Thanks, Mom.
If you really want to find a way to help, get Declan to corroborate your story.
And how am I supposed to do that?
You're a resourceful girl. You'll find a way.
Room service.
I'm sorry. must have the wrong room. I've already eaten dinner.
Well, are you in Woodbury?
Yes?
Then I have the right room.
Get out of my room. I'm calling security.
You might want to wait on that. Recognize this kid?
It's my son, Matthew.
It's a sweet boy. Trusting. Walked with me after school all the way to your house.
Please. You want?
Hung jury or an acquittal. Otherwise, Matthew doesn't make it past the first grade. Do you get what I'm telling you? Good. Mention anything to anyone about our conversation, and my face is the last one your kid will ever see.
Poor little Matthew. I don't think I'll hurt him.
He's not gonna have any reason to. Victoria played this perfectly. If there's anything we've learned, it's how far a mother's willing to go to protect her son.
What now? You turn the tape over to the police and the Graysons get their very own cell block?
That would be too merciful. I'm gonna take care of this. For now, you just make sure that Declan sticks to his story on the stand tomorrow. If he doesn't, Brooks will have no choice but to go after Jack.
So that's what this is all about? Protecting Jack?
He might be willing to sacrifice himself for Amanda, but I'm not willing to let him. Declan.
Hey.
Hey. It's been a while.
Yeah, 58 days. Unless you count that time you told me to get lost in the cafeteria, then it's been 31.
Declan, listen. I know what's going on. My mom's convinced that guy on the beach is your brother. And you're protecting him, like I'm protecting my brother. No one's saying Jack did anything. But Daniel could go to prison for life. And it'll be my fault. And if you lie, it'll be your fault too. This is your chance to fix everything, including you and me. Don't you want that? I do.
What an idiot.
We can be together again. All you have to do is tell the truth.
Knock, knock, kid.
What do you want, Nolan?
I'm just checking up on you. See, I'm not the only one. If I talk to you for a minute.
Yeah, I was just leaving. Think about what I said. You know where to reach me.
So, I'm guessing she's not here to help you on your midterms?
No. No, she wants me to tell the truth on the stand tomorrow, same as Jack.
Who's stopping you?
If I come clean, and I tell them that I saw Jack standing over Tyler's body, man, I don't know where that's gonna lead. What if Amanda did shoot Tyler? What if they go after Jack as an accomplice? I've lost my mom and my dad. I cannot lose my brother, too. But if I lie, Charlotte might lose hers.
And maybe Daniel's guilty.
Yeah. And either way, I might never get Charlotte back.
The Graysons are ruthless. They would not hesitate to have Jack take the fall for all this. So my advice, don't make it any easier for them.
Ex-boyfriend of Daniel Grayson's younger sister.
Inside the courtroom tell us the prosecution is just moments away from calling their final witness.
As the defense stated in their opening argument, they're going to try to refute the overwhelming physical evidence that we've presented by claiming that Daniel Grayson was framed, that Charlotte Grayson, the defendant's sister, saw a third person on the beach.
Objection. Counsel is testifying.
Objection sustained.
Thank you.
Mr. Porter, will you recount for us what happened that night on the beach?
Yeah, we were gonna go swimming, and it was cold, so I went to go get us clothes, and that's when I saw that body behind the sawgrass, Tyler.
And where was Daniel this whole time?
I don't know. I didn't see him until everybody ran over.
Before that moment, did you see anyone else anywhere on the beach? Because in an initial statement Charlotte made to the police, she said there was someone.
I know what she said.
Why don't you tell us what you saw? Was there someone else on that beach that night?
No.
Why should the jury believe your account over Miss Grayson's?
Because Charlotte was drunk and high on oxycodone that night.
And what about you?
I've never taken drugs in my life.
No further questions?
Wait a minute. Charlotte's a good person. All right, she's just looking out for her brother.
Prosecution rests, Your Honor.
I don't know why you're so upset. I knew what he was gonna say.
I was hoping that Declan would think twice before perjuring himself. Obviously, he wasn't giving convincing incentive. I've never trusted you, one of those border boys.
I don't trust anyone.
That's not true. I simply don't give away my trust as freely as you do. Need I remind you who your fiancé was sitting next to in court?
Hey, how you holding up?
What was that about today?
What, you mean Declan's testimony?
I'm not talking about that. Look, I want to have this conversation face to face, and obviously can't come to you, so.
Daniel, I'm sure you're going stir crazy, I can only imagine, but Brooks gave me 17 pages of notes for my testimony to file. First off, I need to be prepared.
And how do you plan to convince 12 strangers you're in love with me when I'm not even sure myself?
Wait, Daniel, what are you talking about?
Nothing. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Declan's still not picking up. He just took off after court. I have no idea where he went. Maybe he needs some space. And what he needs is a good lawyer. The defense subpoenaed me. So now if I tell the truth, I implicate Declan. But if I don't... Okay. I'll find you some good legal advice. Thanks. But before you do, I have some evidence that places me on the beach that night. The sweatshirt I was wearing in Tyler's blood, it's all over. Be serious. Once I hire a lawyer, I'm gonna do exactly what Declan said to do from the start. I'm gonna hand it over and say what I really saw. Do you have a death wish? These are the Graysons we're dealing with. I can't expect Declan to do the right thing when I haven't. You gonna help me or not? I'll make some calls.
Hello?
We're at DEFCON 1, Ems. Jack's been sitting, not literally, on a hoodie that directly links him to the murder.
What? Where are you, the stowaway?
That would be an affirmative. I'm supposed to be finding Jack a good lawyer.
No, don't bother. He won't need one. Just try to get him out of there in a couple hours, okay?
Any luck? Yes and no. You know what? I am worried about Declan. Let's go for a drive. See if we can find him. Yeah.
Come in.
Miss Charlotte, you have a visitor.
Just like old times. Only now I don't have to climb up the drain pipe. A lot's changed if your mom's letting guys in the bedroom now.
She's not. If my parents find out about this, I'll tell my dad you're the one who drank his 85-year-old scotch.
That was hard.
Shut the door. So did you bring him?
You're all business now, aren't you? I like it.
Nice. How'd you get so many?
Stole one of my dad's script pads. Just so you know. It's gonna cost you a little extra.
Money's not a problem.
It's not money I'm after. Little rat from Montauk's been out of the picture long enough. What's stopping me and you?
Absolutely nothing.
Well, if it isn't the infamous Dominic Wright. Conrad Grayson.
Expecting someone else, I bet.
As a matter of fact, yeah, I've got a showing, so if you don't mind.
Yes. I had my people contact a few galleries who were expressing interest, and we just let them know that your current collection's already spoken for. Wow, you really have been carrying on with my wife.
Your ex-wife.
Yeah, well, it hasn't been finalized yet.
So what, you've been having her followed?
Behooves a person in my position to cover his bases. And I also had you investigated. It seems that you have been nurturing quite a shady existence. I mean, dealing in black market auctions, allegations of forgeries.
Allegations are just that, aren't they? Allegations. I mean, you, of all people, should know that. Innocent till proven guilty.
Oh, yeah, but I have proof in the form of my very first de Kooning that I purchased. Broke by a fetching young Vicky Harper years ago. You see, I had that painting appraised when I found out that she'd sunk back in with you, and it turns out that that de Kooning is worth less than the frame it's in.
So what do you want? You want your money back, hmm? Or do you want to just excise me like you did to the last man she loved? Well, she told me what you did to David Clark.
She told you what I did?
What you both did.
Yeah, well, eventually you would have learned that Victoria's word is about as authentic as the paintings you forged. But to answer your question, no, I'm not here to excise you. I know I'm not the only wealthy collector you and Victoria worked your con on all those years ago. So if you really want to finalize Victoria's shame, I could have her arrested for knowingly brokering forged classics. Or you could do the noble thing. You could take your current spate of masterpieces and you could clear out of this joint and leave nothing behind. But my wife...
Yeah, you might want to leave. Before I break every one of the 14 bones in your face.
Daniel, what are you doing?
I asked you the same thing.
You can't be here. Your ankle monitor.
I'm not leaving it. You tell me what the hell you're really up to. Maybe my mom was right about you. Maybe Tyler was too.
How much have you had to drink?
Oh, change the subject. I saw you yesterday with Jack. Is that where you went? To see him?
Daniel.
You think I'm an idiot? All the mysterious phone calls, all the times she disappeared. Sneaking around with him the whole time.
It's ridiculous.
Don't lie to me! Freeze! Right there! Freeze! Hands like it's... Hands up! Don't move! Hands up! Get down! Let's go. Face down. Down.
Daniel Grayson, direct violation of your house arrest.
In custody for breaking up.
How long before Daniel's released back to us, Mr. Brooks?
I'm heading to Rikers now to get Daniel's side of the story. Once I have the facts, I'll set a meeting with the judge.
I'll be there first thing in the morning. I really have no idea why he'd violate house arrest.
I do.
Let me call you back.
Daniel thought that I was having an affair with Jack. I assured him that that wasn't true, that I'm not that kind of person. But the truth is, I have been getting closer to Jack to get information on Amanda. Jack claims he doesn't know where she is.
And you don't believe him?
I went to the stowaway to search his apartment.
What did you find?
Nothing. As far as I can tell, Jack's telling the truth. If the jury convicts Daniel for this, I'll never forgive myself.
Well, that makes two of us. Fortunately, there are other factors that might help shape the jury's opinion.
For example?
Your testimony, of course. So go home, Emily, and tomorrow deliver the performance of your life.
What the hell?
Yep, we got robbed, because that's what this day needed. Montauk.
Please hold.
Yeah, I'll hold. I'm on with the police.
Hang on. Computer. TV, nothing's missing. Oh, God.
What? What are you doing?
Hang up the phone.
What?
Hang up the phone. The hoodie. It's gone.
Hands over your head! What's the problem? Is this your vehicle? What of it? An Amber Alert was issued.
Put your hands behind your back.
What the hell? I didn't kidnap anybody. Matches your plates. Oh, come on, hey. What's that? Your sweatshirt, is that blood?
That's not mine. That's not mine.
Lee Moran, you're under arrest.
Come on, it's not my sweatshirt. Being set
Silence.
up.
Anything you say,
Man, when you said you were gonna use Lee as your pawn, you weren't kidding.
Checkmate.
What happens if they find Jack's DNA on the hoodie?
They'll link it to the night that Lee beat up Jack, reinforcing his status as the Grayson family goon.
So in one fell swoop, you managed to protect Jack, exonerate Daniel, and force Lee into selling out the Graysons to save himself. I mean, you tied everything up in one neat little bow.
Almost. Are you at the stowaway?
Standing right outside.
Good. There's one loose end I'm leaving to you.
So you think the Graysons had the guy who beat me up break in here a second time and steal my hoodie?
The Graysons did what?
It's just a hypothesis, but it makes sense, doesn't it? So then I'm screwed. Au contraire. Because according to the police scanner, they found the bloody hoodie when they picked the dirt bag up. Graysons can't exactly admit their association to the guy, so their lawyer's gonna have to make it look like he's the killer. You really think they're capable of that? They hired the guy to beat you half to death, didn't they? Graysons are capable of anything when it comes to protecting their family. How did they even know I had it? You guys were the only two people I told. Who knows? Maybe the guy really did murder Tyler. Maybe he even saw you on the beach that night. At this point, I'd advise against digging any deeper. Take the win, Jack.
This call will be recorded. You have a collect call from
Your worst nightmare.
at Rikers Correctional Facility. To connect, press 5 now.
We have a problem.
I'm sorry, who is this?
They found a bloody sweatshirt in my car. They're saying it matches the blood of the kid your son shot.
What?
Did you set me up?
Because there's no way I'm taking a fall for something I didn't do.
Stop harassing me. You won't get a penny from us.
Get me out of this or get ready, lady. Because if I'm going down, I'm taking you down with me.
Straight to hell where you belong.
You threaten me and my children again, and I will go straight to the police.
What was that about?
We need to call Brooks.
You need to speak to me first. Who was that? What on God's earth have you done, Victoria? So let me get this straight. You paid a thug to have our son beaten up in prison and then what, strong-arm a juror when this guy could have been the very reason Daniel's even on trial in the first place?
Lee didn't kill Tyler. It doesn't make any sense. He was set up.
Oh. By whom, for instance?
Jack Porter. He knew what Lee looked like. He could have orchestrated the whole thing to protect the real killer.
Let me guess. Amanda Clark? You have really lost it, you know that? Did it even occur to you how much you've risked both our lives and Daniel's with this?
I will categorically deny anything Lee has to say. He was blackmailing us.
Well, that's not going to be enough. Once that punk starts talking to save his skin, it's going to lead investigators all
all the way down the rabbit hole to us. Leave me alone, I need to think. This will be the second mess of yours I've had to clean up in one day.
What is that supposed to mean?
I don't know, why don't you go and ask your artist friend? Not that I expect you'll find him. I mean, once a fraud, always a fraud. Isn't it right, Victoria?
Just stay away from him!
No problem there. He's long gone by now. The last time I wrote you from this place, I told you I was innocent. That's not really the case. I may not have fired the shot that killed Tyler, but I did shoot him. Because he made me doubt you. Because he said you'd betray me. But I'm the one who betrayed you. And now I'm getting what I deserve. Which is why I'm gonna do us both a favor. And end this now.
Brooks, thanks for coming down. What's happening out there? They're saying someone hanged himself.
And confessed to killing Tyler in a suicide note.
What?
Still want to change your plea? I didn't think so. I'll get started getting your charges dropped.
Justice, like beauty, is in the eye of the beholder.
Federal authorities have confirmed the death of terrorist David Clark, who was stabbed yesterday when a fight broke out.
Some see an innocent victim. Others see evil incarnate getting exactly what's deserved.
What's your message? What's wrong? What happened?
I was wasting my time. Gathering evidence on jury tampering when the Graysons have so much more to pay for.
Sorry to have put us in this position again. Especially after all these years. We have another David Clark style situation.
That's very troubling news.
The name's
Wait, is it Conrad?
Lee.
What?
He's in a holding cell at Rikers. If he starts talking, I don't see how we keep a lid on our association.
All of the research that I did. Everybody that I talked to, they said that it was just a prison fight. And my dad was knifed to death by an inmate. How did I not know this? The Graysons murdered my father.